Everyone has those players that they keep drafting. No matter how many mock drafts they do, they keep ending up with the same players. For me, it's these three wide receivers. The first wide receiver that I can't stop drafting is Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Drake London. And he just recently signed a massive contract extension worth $141 million. And shortly after he signed the extension, he proved that he was going to be worth every penny. And I believe him. Money can definitely be a great motivator. Going into last season, Drake London was ranked right inside the NFL Top 100 list, going over 1,000 yards at the end of the 2024 season. And last year, he was well on his way to another 1,000-yard season before a knee injury in Week 9. And in Week 7 of that season, against the New England Patriots on the road, he had 9 catches with 14 targets for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. So far, the Falcons have nothing but good things to say about the new coach, Kevin Stefanski, former 2-time NFL Coach of the Year winner. He found success with the Cleveland Browns with below-average quarterbacks. And now he has Tua Tagovailoa, who came over from Miami as his quarterback. And he says that Tua has innate, God-given accuracy. Sometimes quarterbacks getting a fresh start can revitalize their career. We saw it just last year with Daniel Jones leaving the Giants and finding success with the Colts. And how about Sam Darnold, who we thought his career was over with the Jets, had a playoff run with the Vikings, and won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks last year. And the second wide receiver on this list is Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. I know it was a disappointing season for Brian Thomas last year, but his draft capital and rookie season can't be ignored. He was the 23rd overall draft pick, and he was a Pro Bowl selection. In his rookie season, 87 catches for 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns. Now, last year was pretty inexplicable with Liam Cohen there in his first season. Perhaps it was chemistry issues. Now, Trevor Lawrence was actually banged up for most of Brian Thomas' rookie season. And last year, Brian Thomas started off the offseason banged up with wrist and shoulder injuries. This offseason, both are fully healthy. And Trevor Lawrence has come out and said that the offense is unlocked with the deep passing game. And that primary target will be Brian Thomas Jr. Liam Cohen has also come out and said that Brian Thomas has put an emphasis on the passing game this offseason. And no one has connected more with Trevor Lawrence than Brian Thomas Jr. He is incredibly cheap relative to his draft costs. You could be drafting him as your wide receiver 3 or even wide receiver 4 on your roster. And he can easily produce wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver 1 numbers if he does bounce back. And if he doesn't, it's not going to kill your team. There are so many wide receivers that can replace his production if it doesn't work out. Sure, they have the likes of Parker Washington, Brendan Strange, and Jacoby Myers, but none of these receivers can do the things that Brian Thomas can do. In fact, Parker Washington was a 6th-round pick and has never had a 1,000-yard season. In his first 2 NFL seasons, he had less than 500 yards. Jacoby Myers has only had 1 1,000-yard season in his 7-year career. And finally, to round out this list, is Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Quentin Johnston. Now, Johnston had an insane start to the season last year and was as high as the overall wide receiver 4. Johnston had 24.9 points in Week 1, 15.9 in Week 2, 14.9 in Week 3, and 23.8 in Week 4. Now, he trailed off after that, but he did come alive in Week 16 and 17, having above 90 yards in both of those games. Now, there are vacated targets in this offense with Keenan Allen now out of town. And I don't see him trailing McConkey by too many targets either. Last year, QJ had 85 targets to McConkey's 101. Part of the struggles may have come from an unfortunate string of injuries that the team had. Now the O-line is healthy, Omarion Hampton is healthy, and now the team is ready to make a deep playoff run. Mike McDaniel is now in town as the team's offensive coordinator, so we can definitely see this team throwing the ball down the field. Not to mention the advantageous start of the season. Week 1, they play the Cardinals. Week 2, they play the Raiders, and they also have a favorable fantasy playoff schedule. In Week 14, they'll play the Raiders, and they'll play the Dolphins in Week 16. At the end of the day, every fantasy manager has those wide receivers they keep landing on. And it's all about value. What wide receivers do you keep drafting? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Until next time.